been a very quiet morning for tanking. No issues that the team's working. Weather is set currently at 70% chance of having good conditions at liftoff time.
The vehicle assembly building. So that's where the shuttle gets put together. And then it rolls out a couple of miles out to where the shuttle pad is. That's 39A.
The beanie cap essentially.
Shuttle Atlantis is on there, waiting to take off.
Final inspection team and closeout crew have entered the pad.
Copy that.
Final inspection team is complete and we'll be rolling back to AB11. You get everything?
Inspection is complete. We'll depart in the pad.
I copy depart in the pad, and just heads up, Tom, flight crew has been in the process of departing the LNC at this time. You guys might make it out without having to pull over, but I need you to be advised that they are en route to the pad.
And here comes our STS-132 Atlantis crew. So with that, the Astrovan now will proceed on out to pad 39A. There they go. And they'll be escorted out to the pad by NASA security van, as is customary, behind them. Final inspection team is on the way back from the pad in their vehicles. I think the two will pass, but it'll be close. The landing aids at the shuttle landing facility are about to be activated should a return to the landing site be necessary this afternoon. The Astrovan now arriving at the pad and going up the incline, going up the ramp to the pad surface. The crew compartment reports that they are ready for the astronauts' ingress. Crew may pause for a moment to take a look at Atlantis before they head up the elevator. And that's exactly what they're doing. That shot there looking up the side of the flame trench to the crew on the pad surface. And we're at T-minus 3 hours and holding with 1 hour, 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in this built-in hold. Here are the astronauts now getting off the elevator, ready to cross the orbiter access arm. And our commander, Ken Ham, being assisted with his launch and entry suit prior to boarding Atlantis to be our first crew member aboard today. And here we see our commander being seated in the cockpit, and mission specialist number 3, Steve Bowen, being assisted with his launch and entry suit. Steve Bowen now confirmed to be aboard Atlantis at this time. Tony Antonelli, our pilot, will be boarding next. Piers Sellers is mission specialist number 4, ready for his entry into the crew compartment. Next to board, he's mission specialist number 1 aboard Atlantis on STS-132.
Yeah, so we're 3 hours from launch, just a little under, and so some of these guys have already been sitting on their back for a little while.
I guess when you can't turn your head, can't move around, a mirror's not a bad thing to have.
And Mike Good, you'll hear called Bueno on the loops during the mission.
That crew has actually been working with these guys all through training. They're assigned kind of to the crew when the crew is assigned, and they show up at all the training events where they're suited and kind of go through the whole choreography every single time, make sure the suits are fitting just right.
Mike Good coming into view in the MS2 seat, and Chris Cassidy will start working on him here shortly.
Yeah, so with the exception of the commander and pilot and MS2, most of the guys are up and moving around very, very quickly, and actually the guys down in the mid-deck will be getting out of their aces pretty quickly after getting an 8.5-minute ride to orbit. You can see the hatch there with Atlantis written down the side.
SRO. SRO's go. You have range clear to launch. And CDR. Atlantis is go.
And NTD launch director, you are clear to launch Atlantis.
Copy that, launch director.
Go for orbiter access arm retract.
Atlantis crew, our team has worked hard, and it's with great pride that we send the last crew of Atlantis to the International Space Station with the mini research module to be installed.
T-minus 2 minutes and counting.
Atlantis, close and lock your visors and initiate O2.
OTC, that is in work.
Ground launch sequencer will hand off to Atlantis' onboard flight computer 15 seconds from now. Firing chain is armed, sound suppression water system activated. T-minus 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Go for main engine start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
136 by 36 statute mile orbit. On Atlantis have now been throttled down to 72% of rated thrust as the orbiter prepares to pass through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Now beginning to throttle back up.
Atlantis, you are go and throttle up.
Copy, go, throttle up.
All three engines looking really good, back at full throttle now at liftoff. The fully fueled shuttle, boosters and external tank weighed 4.5 million pounds. It now has burned half of that liftoff weight in propellant. Atlantis is already 19 miles in altitude, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 20 miles, traveling 2,500 miles per hour. Coming up on staging, the point at which the twin solid rocket boosters burn out and separate from the orbiter. Separation confirmed. The onboard guidance system has done its job of settling out any of the dispersions that have been introduced at the booster separation. Atlantis is traveling 3,700 miles per hour at an altitude of 47 miles.
There goes, yeah.
You see it, right? The booster that came out? Oh, yeah.
This view from a camera on the external tank looking down the length of the orbiter.
You can still see that little dot there. Still there. That is wild. You can still, if you know where to look, you can still see that dot going.
Atlantis, you are single engine, ops 3.
Copy, single engine, ops 3.
And that roll to heads up provides a good satellite communications link with Atlantis, continuing its travel into space.
You are pressed to MECO and single engine Zaragoza 104.
Copy, pressed to MECO, single engine Zaragoza 104. And Scorch, I got the roll.
Lucky dog.
Atlantis copies, nominal shutdown. Go for the plus X, go for the pitch.
Still going.
Atlantis is now traveling 13,000 miles per hour, 580 miles away from the Kennedy Space Center at an altitude of 340,000 feet. Atlantis can reach orbit on one engine now should two fail. However, all three are still in good shape. The Atlantis is traveling 15,500 miles per hour, approaching 8 minutes into the flight, downrange 740 miles at an altitude of 64 miles.
Plasma. Oh, are they burning out? Eco?
Main engine cutoff confirmed, standing by for separation from the external fuel tank.
There they go. They're separating.
Atlantis now flying away from the external tank after separation. Plus X burn maneuver being performed by Commander Ken Ham.
Nominal MECO, ohms 1, not required. Preliminary ohms to TIG will be 37:30.
Wow, look at that. That is awesome.
Now welcome back to space for you and your veteran crew.
Copy, 3730, it's good to be back, Scorch, as you know. And ohms 1 is not required.
As is typical with all space shuttle missions, the crew rapidly gets out their handheld camera and takes some still and motion video of the external tank as it drifts away from the shuttle. This gives the ground teams an idea of exactly how the foam on the external tank fared to make sure that all of it stayed in its proper position. You can see some of the cryogenics from inside that tank still venting as the tank separated from Space Shuttle Atlantis. That tank also has what are known as tumble jets installed on it that enable the tank to basically flip end over end to ensure that it actually breaks up as expected as it goes back down into the Earth's atmosphere. It disintegrates.
And wow, what a ride. I was really digging, like, no master cautions. That was a cool thing.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Not a one.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And we appreciate all the folks working the ball bearings down in MCC and LCC to get us off the pad.